Okay, good evening to you all. I welcome you all to the live session with Student Connect hosting London South Bank University. And of course, the university is from the UK, just as the university's name implies. Okay, and we are delighted to have you here with us. We're delighted to have you all because quite a number of new students who have no guardians, no counseling. And of course, it's been 2 years past, 3 years down the line, 4 years, 5 years since they attempted their study abroad journey. Now, jumping in with both feet, when it comes to how best to prepare for your study abroad journey, there are five keys that we'll be giving attention to for you to be able to successfully enroll and complete your course successfully as well. And to help best digest this, we have none other university representing live with me on this session than the London South Bank University. I'm excited actually. I'm excited. Because of this fair, you'll be hearing from the angle of Student Connect Ghana, which is a global based higher education consultancy that creates a rewarding higher education experience for every international student that comes into contact with us. Of course, we're talking Ghanaian students and all. You gain valuable insights on how to best prepare for your study abroad journey in 2026 directly from the university's perspective. And to guide us through this, we are honored to have Chizoba Igweni, also known as Chizi, the regional manager for Sub-Saharan Africa at LSBU, who will be sharing an expert's advice and practical steps to help students transition smoothly into their academic journey.
Hi, Micheline. Can you hear
Thank you so
me?
much. Yes, thank you so much, Easy, for joining us. Thank you so
Pleasure
much.
is mine. Yeah, I'm happy to
I'm glad to
be.
have you here.
Pleasure is mine. Like you rightly said, it's a pleasure too for us to be here. And of course, we're here on the grounds, or yes, on the grounds that Student Connect is a trusted partner, recruitment partner for London South Bank University. And like you said, my name is Chizi, and I manage recruitment from Sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm the point of call for all things regarding student recruitment for regions or countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, and the likes. But for the purpose of today's session, I believe we are speaking mostly to a Ghanaian audience or by extension the rest of Africa. So you all are welcome to today's session, and thank you for letting us into your space. And yeah, good evening. Yeah, it's back to you, Micheline. Let's go.
Awesome. I'm also Michelin, an education counselor with Student Connect Ghana. And with our HQ based in the UK, we have partnerships with most of the institutions there. And we have four outlets. And London South Bank University is one of our partner universities. Of course, our services are for free because our main goal is for the students to enroll successfully at a university like LSBU. And for today's topic, a student preparing to study abroad in the UK or any other country in 2026 should begin early with academic readiness, financial planning, visa preparation, and of course the cultural adaptation aspect of it. And the most critical steps include researching the university, your documents preparation, of course, a strong document preparation, that's it. Budgets for tuition and living expenses, and ensuring that you are complying with the country's visa requirements. So, like the UK, because LSBU is from the UK. Now, to our five key areas that will help a student to successfully prepare for your study abroad journey in 2026, you'll be looking at number one, application and admission. Number two key area is visa and documentation. Number three key area is financial planning. Number four key area is accommodation and arrival. And last but not the least, cultural and academic adjustments. Now let's begin your 2026 journey. Cheesy, Looking at the first key area, application and, and admission. As a student, when should I start my application for 2026 entry?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, the best time to start is now. There is no such thing as giving it to later. Okay, I know culturally speaking, we're people that like to take our time, and there's something called African time, but there isn't any such thing as an African time. Knowing fully well that this journey is one that encompasses different stages. Okay, so like you rightly said, Micheline, at the start of your presentation, it is a lot of, I mean, a lot of things enrolled into one. Starting from your research, starting from the I mean, to the point where they're making an application, to building a bank statement, to putting your documents together. All of these stages need time. And if you ask me again when is the best time to start, I would say the time to start is now. Because the earlier the students start, the better they stand. I mean their chances of getting a visa early enough, you know, I mean, their chances are higher to get a visa early enough if they should start on time, as opposed to leaving things till last minute. Just to add that one of the for us at London South Bank University, we have recently set our timelines, and we're one of those universities that are quite, we are quite sort of we stick to our timelines, and it's always in the best interest of the university because we don't want, sorry, the best interest of the university and the prospective students, because we don't want a situation where the students are racing against time, you know. I mean, it's a lot of it creates a lot of chaos when they are often, I mean, when they are cut out of time. So the best I mean, in a short, the summary of all that I've said is the best time to start is now for those that want to study in September 2026. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Izzy. Of course, you need to understand the application timeline. UK universities typically, and they open applications for some universities 1 year in advance, some universities between 6 to 12 months in advance. So you need to
Yeah.
make the most out of the timelines given you. And for 2026 entry, applications should be submitted ASAP. Now, like she said, is the time. Now, like she said, is the time. You don't want to miss any deadlines, especially ones which have to do with the portals, where you, the students, need to communicate with the university or whoever is guiding and counseling, like an agency like Student Connect Ghana, would ensure that you are in time when it comes to responding, when it comes to things that you ought to do, especially submitting your application. Thank you so much, Cheesy. Now, to the second question that most students would ask. Cheesy, can you help us with this?
Okay, I can hear.
What are
So
LSBU requirements? What are
oh sure,
LSBU's entry
oh sure, I
requirements?
can. So for in terms of entry requirements, there isn't like it's a wide range. All right, so there are different entry requirements for different levels of entry for different levels, right? So I'll give a classic example because we are predominantly a postgraduate market. When I say we, I mean sub-Saharan Africa as a whole, Nigeria and Ghana precisely, or I mean mainly. So for most of our postgraduate courses, and that would be for masters, for instance, the minimum entry requirement into most of our courses would be a second class lower, the equivalent of a UK bachelor's degree with a 2-2. Now, we also would like to look out for their proficiency in English, and generally, we would accept a score of C6, minimum score of C6 in WASE in English. And then for undergraduate courses, we would need them to have done something in addition to completing their, what we call sixth form or secondary school or high school. So if their highest qualification is, say, the equivalent of the UK level, so the equivalent of maybe O level, we need them to have completed something in addition. So that would normally be either they've done a foundation year, or they have done some sort of, either an A level or something, okay, before we can admit them straight onto year one. So I think those are the major entry requirements to talk about today. Okay, so the
Thank you
PG
so
and the
much.
UG.
Thank you so much, Izzy. So preparing your academic documents is key. preparing your academic documents is key. You have Student Connect here to help you. Of course, with Student Connect, you are assigned a counselor who directs you as to what documents to collect or collate, especially now because your application should be submitted now. So your assigned counselor at Student Connect Ghana would enable you and guide you as to what documents to collect, your transcripts, certificates, recommendation letters. When it comes to your statement of purpose, what you're supposed to have in your statement of purpose, you would have that guided hands on what documents to collect. Of course, updating your CV with the relevant achievements and with the English requirements she mentioned. Most UK universities would require recognize the West African examination certificate. So you have C6 as your cutoff, and you have the right certificate to help you. You can book test dates early to avoid any last minute delays. Okay, you could be guided by your counselor to either take a PTE examination, I mean the English test, or IELTS. Okay, and this you have the hands of a counselor, an able counselor, walking you through how to put your documents together. Okay, and this is from Student Connect to you. Now, looking at our third question under application and admission. Cheesy, do you apply through UNIS or directly to LSB? Because students would usually find these when they are doing the application.
All right. So this question I get to hear get asked a lot. So I would say they can actually apply via both. Either they apply directly or via UCAS. Now, the difference is in what course they are. The question I'll normally ask when I'm asked this sort of question is what course are they interested in? So there are certain courses that the application have to be done via UCAS, and there are a lot of courses that the application can be made directly. Matter of fact, for Student Connect, who of course you guys are trusted partners, you can apply directly through your dedicated. We have the International Applicant Portal, which every partner of the university has access to. So, so Student Connect can actually apply directly via the applicant portal for most of the courses. All right. Now, for courses that are in the College or School of Health and Allied Sciences, so courses like nursing, physiotherapy, courses like diagnostic radiography, all those sorts of health and allied sciences courses. Those courses are normally adult nursing, for example. Students need to apply via UCAS. Okay, so those ones aren't, you can apply directly on the university's website for such courses. So I mean, I hope I've been able to answer that question correctly. I hope I've been able to share. No, I know I did answer it correctly, but I hope it's clear enough. I hope it's clear
Okay,
enough.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Easy.
Yeah.
So, to not see a student struggling with their application process, Student Connect is here. Okay, for you not to be stuck at a point where you'd not successfully submit your application, Student Connect is here. You'd find students stuck at the point of what to do with the offer, the visa application, what to do to meet every condition stated on your offer letter. This is why Student Connect is here. We don't want to find you stuck at the point where you didn't successfully apply, you didn't meet the conditions as you ought to, and then you end up 2 years down the line, you didn't enroll. 3 years down the line, 4, 5 years, and you are still in Ghana here. It shouldn't be the situation. Now, Student Connect Ghana is here for you. This is why we exist. You are here because we are. Okay. We are also here because you are. Now, the moment you reach out to Student Connect, at the end of the session, you would have our numbers displayed. The moment you reach out to us with your desired interest, your course, with your background, all your documents, we would guide you as to how to do your application successfully. Of course, we have partnership with LSBU, and This will ensure that you even have your offers in time. There have been situations where students will submit the application and 2, 3 weeks, no offer yet. But Student Connect will ensure you have your offers in somewhat 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, maximum 1 week, which usually is not the case, but through Student Connect, you can have your offer. Okay, now moving on to the next key area that you need to give attention to is the visa and documentation. Visa and documentation. Now, what are the documents that are needed for a UK student visa? Thank you so much, Izzy. Take us through this.
Okay, so for this question, I would always say that when it comes to visa applications, the I mean the CAS, the CAS that students will get is always the guide as to what is required to complete their visa application. But if I can answer, I like to look at it from two aspects. Okay, so typically the CAS will state the areas or the points where the students have been assessed. So the academic qualifications will be stated on CAS. So if we have assessed the students using their bachelor's degree, say they're applying for a master's, we'll state exactly, so this student has got maybe a second class lower, and we state that we have looked at their certificates, and that is how we have assessed them and made sure that they've met the learning, the points of entry for that course. Okay. So at the point that they're applying for their visa, they need to submit their proof of, the original certificates as stated on CAS, their transcript, if that is what their CAS letter states, and their proof of English language proficiency. So you see, it brings us back to the entry requirements, right? So right from the get-go, that is why these are really important. We look at them from the very beginning. That's the first step. So those documents that we assess from the very beginning and we have assessed and accepted, those are the same documents that will list on CAS as the academic qualification, right? And they are expected to provide those documents at the point when they're applying. Then comes to the other part, which is the financial aspect. Very important. Also as important as the academic qualifications, right? Because we need to see, actually not just us, it's a UKVI rule, right? Western need to show that they have sufficient funds and have satisfied 28 days. So in this case, there are different ways to prove it. It could be a bank statement, it could be a bank letter, it could be an investment certificate. There are different ways to prove that students have the required funds. But what is the basic thing to note is that they must have sufficient funds that has stayed 28 days, okay? And the other rules that is usually accessible to the students. Okay, so 28 days, first of all, sufficient funds, help for 28 days, and easily accessible to the student. Then there are other things as well. I think the last, but definitely not the least, will be we also look at the UKVI will need students to provide their tuberculosis test certificates. And these are normally, the tuberculosis tests are done at UKVI approved centers. And if students want to know where this or what these centers are, where they are located, they can check that out on the gov.uk site. That's the UKVI site. It's all listed there. And you also find the countries of, there are countries if prospective students have been or have lived for the recent 6 months leading up to their application, they will need to prove that they've tested negative to tuberculosis. Okay, so these are the three major points: academic requirements, financial requirements, and then the medical aspects. Those are the major points or major documents required for your UK visa, UK student visa application. Okay, so it's back to you, Micheline.
Okay, thank you so much, Izzy. So you don't have to go through the hassle. Okay, this is why Students Connect Ghana is here for you. Now, for you to have all your documents set, we have a list that we share with students, even right before we start the process. We have the list of documents you would need for both the school admission or your school application and visa application. Now, this list will be shared with you from your counselor, okay? And it is regarding the course you want to read, okay? This list will be shared with you for you to successfully submit your application to both the university and to the UK. VI. Okay, thank you so much, Easy. Now, she spoke a lot about the documentation that you need to put together. So I guess it's attends to the question that asks, can LSBU help with this aspect? They've given you all the help you need. Now we're going to dive into the number three key area to give attention to. That's the financial planning. The financial planning. Now, this emphasizes the importance of guidance and counseling. Now, the reason why Student Connect is here for you, okay, the reason why Student Connect Ghana is here for you. Now, we'll look at three questions, the most frequent questions asked under this key area. And first off, we'll look at the tuition fee. So, what is the tuition fee range at the London South Bank University?
Okay, so we are one of the most affordable universities, if I can start by saying that. And we are right in the heart of London. These are some of the, I'm just sharing with you some of the things that makes us unique. All right. So in terms of affordability, we are affordable in such a way that in fact, I don't know if I mentioned from the very beginning, we are one of those few universities that have, we've been highly ranked recently for, for our work in ensuring that we reduce inequalities. And one of the ways that we've been able to do that, for example, a typical example is through the scholarships and discounts that we offer students from our region. Having said that, to go back, because I might digress too much if I begin to talk about that. So to come back to to come back to your question, the tuition range will be 16,000 to about 20,000 pounds, and that's across undergraduate and postgraduate, level courses, right? Now that's the range, and that is without any discount. So with a discount, you can get that means for some because we're offering a range of a discount as well. The range is from 2,000 to 4,000 pounds, and so that means with the discount, which of course again we are one of those few universities that will apply a discount and take it out immediately. For some universities, they give a discount, and I mean I know that the discount isn't taken away instantly. So let's still pay. So when they say pay half of your fees to get a CAS, they actually mean half of the fees as though there is no discount. So they take out the discounts later after the student has arrived. But we don't do that. So if your tuition is £20,000, for instance, and get £4,000, moving £4,000 off, it means it drops it to the payable amount now to £16,000. And when we say pay maybe 50% of your fees, it means 50% after you have taken out the discounts. Okay. So yeah, the range is back to the question. The range is 16,000 to 20,000 pounds without the discount. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for doing justice to this. Now, to better put it in the language of a student, now she's saying the fees range from 16,000 to 21,000 pounds. Now, some schools would ask you to pay an initial deposit without even recognizing the scholarship or fee discounts that they've given to students. But LSBU would immediately apply the fee reduction. So you have £4,000 taking off your tuition. Let's say your fees cost £16,000. Immediately, the £4,000 is deducted. You have £12,000 to deal with. Now, 50% as initial deposits of the £12,000 to pay is what you pay. That's £6,000. You see, it makes it easy and affordable for the students to quickly make financial commitments to secure your slot for the course at LSBU. Okay, so this is the fee range when it comes to LSBU. Secondly, how much should a student budget when it comes to living expenses
Okay,
in
that's a very good
London?
question. Yes, so we are one of those schools. From the name, you can tell that we are in London. I mean, we are London South Bank University. We are right in the heart of London. We're in Zone One in Central London, as central as it gets. We're within, we are within close proximity to most of the iconic locations that students probably already know about. So we are like, say, for example, just about 10 minutes walking distance from London's financial district, not about 15 minutes walking distance from, Big Ben, London, and all those touristy places that students just, the Shard, all those places that we probably know about, when you're in London and you want to go see. we are very close to. We are just rightly located there. And that means that our living expenses, we are, as with every other university, we are guided by the UKVI's estimations, right? So based on the UKVI's estimation of living expenses for a London-based school, the living expense for London South Bank University is £8,530 per month. Now, I would like to state that this amount covers accommodation, feeding, local transportation. Now, this is an estimation, right? Estimation meaning that, the visa issuing authorities have done the math, and based on their estimate, they believe that this is what is, what every student needs to at least get a visa. That also means that we are bound by those rules or by this estimation, so students need to have that amount to get a visa. In reality, however, they might not necessarily need up to that. I might not need up, might even need less than that or more. Like I always tell students, it depends on their lifestyle. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, £8,530 per month. So they should have funds for 9 months. So that means approximately they should have around £13,800 to cover for their living expenses for the duration of 9 months during their
Yes.
stay at London State Bank University. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
thanks.
So at about £13,800 per annum, this is what you need. This is what has been stated. But like she said, every individual is, you may manage more than that amount, or you may even need just a little less than that. You may need less than that actually. So you may not need the full amount, but this is what you need to show. Okay, for the financial aspect, this is what you need to show as your full living expenses for at least one academic year in your account. Okay, at the class stage, the visa stage, of course, and then for your purpose of studies in the university for at least one academic year. That's the amount you are required to have in your account. Okay. Now, moving on, under the key area of financial planning, are there scholarships available? Now, this is the most interested part for students.
I
Are there
know,
scholarships
right?
available? She already mentioned it, but I wanted to reiterate it. Are there
Reiterated, yeah.
scholarships available? Students are always interested in scholarships. So
Yeah. Okay. So we have what we call the Global Success Scholarship, or what I love to call the regional discounts. Okay, because it's actually a discount. Because sometimes the word scholarship students can misconstrue to mean fully funded scholarship or half scholarship, but what they get is automatic discounts. All right, which takes a huge chunk of the full fee. So, say for instance, for a student going to study a course that has been pegged at say £20,000, they get about £4,000. I think I said that example in the beginning. So they get about £4,000 off of the fees, which drops it drastically to around 16,000 payable, right? So we are offering what we call the global success scholarships or regional discounts, like I like to call it locally when I'm having conversations, because it's automatic. Everybody gets something. They don't need to write any special essays. They don't need to compete for it specially, provided they're an international fee payer. At the point where their offer becomes unconditional, will apply the right scholarship that is, due for the students, and they get it instantly deducted from the total fees. So yes, we've got that. Then we also have what we call the loyalty award, which is a loyalty scholarship or discount still. So it's a way that we reward students that have progressed with us from undergrad to postgrad, right? So it's like an alumni discount basically. So that's about 20% off of the full fees when students progress from undergraduate to postgraduates with us at London South Bank University. Then lastly, we have the Merit Scholarship, which is mainly for undergraduate students. So when students have completed an A level and have scored, say, like BBA, they get the Merit Scholarship, which is about £2,000 off of the full fees. Now they can potentially get that, not potentially, they can actually get that fee annually. So if they are going for a 3-year course, they give them 2,000 every year. So that means in the end, students can get up to £6,000. So that's one of the fantastic, discounts that we're offering. It's little wonder why we have been ranked highly for how we are reducing inequality, making quality education affordable to as wide as possible as wide a populace as possible within our region in sub-Saharan Africa. So yeah, that's it on scholarships and discounts that are available at London South Bank University. Thank you,
Thank you
Micheline.
so much. Thank you so
Yep.
much. So yes, of course, most universities have scholarships. Um, Depending, some would offer scholarships on merit basis. Some would offer scholarships on grant basis. Some, it depends. And this is what LSBU has packaged for all students, especially coming from Ghana, or for all international students. You don't have to apply for it. The moment your counselor at Student Connect applies, it is activated immediately. It is activated immediately. And of course, with very doable, flexible payment plans, it will be easy to cover through the rest of the fees after the scholarship has been taken out. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next key area, accommodation and arrival. Accommodation and arrival. Does LSBU provide student housing?
So I particularly love this question because it is a question, but it's also one of those questions that sort of highlights our unique selling points or highlights what makes us unique as a university, right? We are one of the few London-based universities that offer on-campus accommodation where international students can readily take up spaces. Why? Because the home students do not necessarily need accommodation. So one of those few universities in London, you can ask around. I think we are just a few, about three or so, that offer on-campus accommodation. That is, when I say on campus, I mean accommodation owned by the university. Now, if you know London very well, you understand or agree with me that having on campus accommodation is a big deal because, of course, in London, space is sort of a scarce resource, right? A scarce resource. But we have that accommodation where international students can, take up spaces, like I say, which is actually very helpful. I found that in my, throughout my career, when we talk about things like accommodation, especially with prospective students or even their parents, they tend to relax because it's a bit, what's the word now? It can sound like so much when you're speaking to prospective students and they feel like, and I mean, there isn't accommodation readily available for them because students, people want to know, have like a clear plan as to how, when they arrive on campus, knowing that there's accommodation where they can easily go into. It helps them, relax and even make it easy for them to choose, to go to London South Bank University as over and above maybe another university. Okay, so that is one thing that we have readily available at London South Bank University. I mean, if you let me, I'll keep going on and on about other unique selling points about London South Bank University, but accommodation is one. The fact that graduates from London South Bank University are more sought after and in better paying jobs. Matter of fact, we are one of the few London modern universities whose graduates earn the top end salary of around £30,000 annually. Okay, so that is actually what one of some of these unique selling points about London South Bank University. Thank you, Micheline.
Thank you. Okay, so like she said, you decide between the university's halls or your private housing. It's usually more affordable to live on campus because the university considers the students. The university would intentionally take the students into consideration when it comes to the cost. And of course, you can go through your counselor at Student Connect that will be assigned to you to book this. We are always up and available to help students book their accommodation before you go, especially right after the visa comes in. Now, this is what students don't note. You need to acquire it's good to actually secure your accommodation while waiting your visa, but also you should take into consideration, wait, why not wait when the visa comes? You quickly, that's why your counselor is there. You would quickly book through your counselor your accommodation without any stress, without any hassle. Your accommodation would be immediately booked. Okay. Now, whatever essentials you may need, whether it's a travel insurance, the SIM card, the UK bank account setup, Student Connect Ghana, per your counselor would prepare you or help you through the process. This is why we are here, actually. This is why we are here, actually. So Of course, there may be pre-departure sessions with your counselor right before you go. Right before you go. Moving on with accommodation and arrival. Oh, it looks like I've attended to the next question, but you should hear it from the angle of a university. Okay, when should I book my accommodation? I think you touched on that, but
So,
just
Micheline, I agree with your advice. So it's best to get a visa before you book accommodation. However, we understand that because students are sometimes wary, they want to, because they also know that accommodation is available on a first come first serve basis. They go do the booking, you know. But it might be safe to actually book, just like pay a holding fee to hold the place, while you wait for the visa itself to be granted. That could be the smart way to do it, right? So as soon as
yeah,
the visa is granted, you go ahead to. But then again, the contract also has, there's only about enough time when you have booked a space. It expected the contract will come. Of course, the expectation is that after you, because as the students from Nigeria or Ghana, everywhere are inquiring. So also are students from other parts of the world that are inquiring. So, but then again, the safe thing to do is to hold the place while you wait for your visa, a decision on the visa. And of course, if it's positive, which we all hope, we believe, or with the help of Student Connect, and of course, us at London South Bank University, would always get a good decision in the end, right? Which is what everybody wants: visa approval, and then you travel to the UK. So yeah,
yeah,
back to you,
yes. And
Michelle.
then thank you so much. One final question under accommodation and arrival. What support is available upon arrival?
Right. So we've got, again, this is a good question, which is also one of those things that pinpoints or sort of highlights our unique selling points. So we have we have an award-winning student support team, and every university has that. But you might ask, so what makes yours unique that you're talking about it with so much, enthusiasm? The truth of the matter is that we do not believe that recruitment's top students have arrived on campus. We have that dedicated student support team, not just that, we've got a lot of support services available that ensures that we hold the hands of the student right from when they arrive on campus up until they leave. So I'll give you an instance. So we've got like so many things. So even if students need to talk to anybody, if they're having any mental health struggles, even if they need help opening an account, if they need accommodation advice, there's always someone to talk to. So these resources are readily available, and all students need to do is to take advantage of it. Take advantage, seek out these opportunities, these resources, and you'll see that they are there. If you need to speak to someone, maybe students have just arrived and they are struggling, there's always that resource available. Take advantage of it. And in fact, we also, just to ensure that our students are well received. We also offer pickup services, especially for those who it's their first time arriving in the UK. It can be a bit overwhelming. So we've got pickup services that ensures that students are picked up on arrival and taken straight to their accommodation location. That also helps them, relax and feel settled in and all of that. Then in terms of other activities that also help students that are found that are helpful, we've got like what we call the LSBU active, where if you ever find students that are fitness enthusiasts who want to stay active while they are schooling, they can be a part, they can pay a fee to use the gym and do all of that. Then we also have like a really vibrant African community. We've got Ghanaians, Nigerians, students from all over. That also helps them feel warm and welcome. So these are some of the things that makes us unique, especially because we're a London, central London-based university. We're very multicultural, diverse, forward-thinking, and let's get to settle in and feel a part of the community in no time. Especially with some of these services that they have that we have readily available and students can take advantage of. Okay, so yeah,
Awesome,
that's
awesome. So yes, LSBU is going to assist you with this. But then again, you have a backup support from Student Connect as well. Okay, anything can happen at any time. You have travel and arrival assistance the moment you arrive in the UK. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have our headquarters in the UK. So, airport pickup and transfer to your university or your accommodation is available. Is available. Now, guidance on the local transport option, whether you're taking a bus, your train, and metro card, your counselor is going to ensure that you are sorted out on that. Whatever it takes, especially when it comes to your emergency contact support, in terms of any delay or issues, quickly reach out to your counselor. Of course, you'll be in touch with your counselor right from the time your flight takes off. So arrive. The moment you arrive, you quickly hit your counselor, let your counselor know if there's anything that you require assistance with. Student Connect Ghana is also here to assist you, just as LSB is here to assist you with. We already spoke about the accommodation, whatever it is, you have the assistance available. Okay. Now, the orientation and settling in is one thing also that we can give you welcome sessions or even like an insight to where exactly you're going, to an introduction to the city, your campus. Such services will be given to you from Student Connect through your counselor. And it's what? For free, at no cost. And of course, guidance and on counseling, guidance on cultural adaptation, guidance on local customs, how to fit in into your new academic environment. Okay, and sometimes we may walk you through administrative and legal assistance when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to the financial setup. Okay, in terms of registering, in terms of the medical services, some insights will be given to you from your counselor. Okay. And of course, you have all the academic and university integration that you get getting from LSBU as well. Assistance with course registration, the timetable setup, and introduction to the academic course, where the library is, the labs, online portals, and all of that. You have that will be given to you by LSBU. Okay, workshops on study skills, of course, the plagiarism policies. Now, we shouldn't play with this part, okay? And the UK academic culture. LSBU is one of the best schools that you can look up to when it comes to student support. Okay, is one of the things that they boast of proudly, and this I assure you you can get from LSBU. Now, moving on to the final key area that we'll be looking at, which is last but not the least, cultural and academic adjustment. Cultural and academic adjustment. So, Cheesy, as a student, how do you adapt to studying in the UK?
Okay, so to be honest, this question I'm not sure how to go about, but I do know one thing for sure. Um, So one thing I know for sure is that the environment where students eventually end up helps them a lot. So, like I mentioned in the last question you asked me, where I mentioned the fact that we are quite multicultural, we are diverse, we are forward thinking. These are aspects of the university that help students to settle in nicely. I did mention also that we've got a very vibrant Ghanaian community, very vibrant African community, rich, vibrant African community. One of the things that I've found out that these sort of communities or societies help with is that they help students to settle in nicely, right? Now, being our multicultural environment or multicultural community, London generally is, it means that students can find others that are I mean, if you find a Ghanaian student, there's going to be like a lot more of students from Ghana as well in London South Bank University, a lot more from Nigeria. So that allows them to feel, especially in the beginning, it helps when you know that there are people like you in this community. While
Yeah,
also helping you to know that okay, there are also other aspects to these things. There are other I mean, towards that you as open-minded as you are, the better. I mean, if you're an open-minded person, the better, because you can take away as much as possible. You can become friends with friends from all over the world, learn a different culture, learn a different language. All of these things are things that actually help to, make the experience on campus a really, a fantastic one. And before you know it, they're settled in nicely and all of that. Then on the part of the university, I did mention the support services that are available to students, right? There's always someone to talk to. We have the helpline that is open all the time. Students can take advantage of that. We also have for specifics, for example, if they need to, if they are struggling upon arrival, maybe you need to speak to someone to help you to learn your way around Lagos South Bank. There's always that help available. The only thing I say is take advantage of these resources, seek out these things because other students are taking advantage of them, especially the new students. Okay, so do the same. If you ever find that you need it, we have made all these resources available to help students adapt, help students settle in, help students adapt to the UK culture and all of that, right? So yeah, that's my take on that question.
Yeah, so take advantage of all the resources that have been made available for you. You can also take advantage of your counselor by asking if there are any students enrolling probably in your intake September 2026 as well. We've had students ask if we have students going to the same university and connected them to at least not be alone. You have somebody you are going with or somebody you are meeting from Ghana. And like she said, there's a large African or a Ghanaian community at LSBU. You are not alone. So join such societies, okay? Join such societies. It helps reduce the isolation. Okay, you find out you will not be homesick too much. It reduces the homesickness. Okay. Now, the communication style. I know students want to they're in a hurry to adapt to British accent. That is awesome. But what you can notice is that it can be more reserved as compared to the Ghanaian warmth. You can, of course, be open to the different social norms while maintaining your identity. Okay, but feel free to explore. When it comes to the weather, UK weather is colder. In Ghana, you you already know. So invest in more warm clothing and learn to manage the seasonal changes from time to time. Okay. Now, when it comes to the financial bit, don't be in a hurry to spend all the money. Now, the pre-departure session will take you through this. Track your expenses from rent to food, transportation, what you use for your leisure, and your counselor would help you understand what discounts you can enjoy as a student when it comes to traveling, using the bus, shopping, at a wider range. Okay, student discounts. Always take advantage of it. Okay, now when it comes to building network, now do not joke about building network. Like she mentioned earlier, join societies. There are lots of societies on campus. There are lots of societies. There are lots of clubs. Take advantage of these societies and clubs. It will help you to adapt easily. It will help you to adapt easily. It will help you overcome any challenge of homesickness, academic pressure, cultural differences. All of these will be attended to because you are using the university's resources to also strategize in terms of managing whatever um, differences you've been introduced to, whatever environment you are trying to fit into. Okay, you can also maybe have a step by step, probably a 90 days in the UK journey, maybe with your counselor. Make it fun. Make it fun. Okay, make it fun. Now, this is why Student Connect once again is here for you. Going on to the next question, is there a particular support that has been set aside by LSBU to cater for international students?
Okay. When you say support for international students, how precisely do you mean? Because I want to believe I may have mentioned it earlier. In fact, I think I know I did. So when I talk about the support services readily available, right? I did mention a couple of them. For example, I did mention the fact that they can get they can speak to anybody. You can use the helpline when you want to speak to anybody. So let's say they maybe they find that settling in it was is difficult for them, or maybe they're having challenges with their accommodation. They can speak to someone about it. Should they need help with opening an account, something as basic as that, they can speak to someone about it. Should they need help with, navigating the city upon arrival, they can always speak to someone about it. So these are the things that other international students have taken advantage of. And that is the same sort of support that students from Nigeria, Ghana, and the rest of Africa also have. Okay, so these are some of the specifics. I did mention also that we have the pickup services that ensures that on arrival we pick up the students and take them to their designated accommodation location. So yeah, I think I may have mentioned it earlier on, and I accommodate. Yeah, so basically, I talked about almost everything, except if
Okay.
there's anything else you want to add to it, or maybe there's anything if you feel I haven't touched, then maybe you can ask me that
Okay.
specifically. But yeah.
Okay. One last bit. Usually students would ask, can I work part-time while studying?
Oh yes. Yes, the student visa normally comes with 20 hours per week that allows them to work part time, while they study in the UK. But if there's one advice I always give students from our region is that no matter how much you think you need to work, um, make sure that you've got your accommodation and your tuition all sorted, because I've seen really crazy situations where students are being guided and told, oh, you can just pay part of your fees and travel, you can work to pay fees. That's a trap. So in the end, you find out that students are working so hard to pay their fees, and when they are doing that, they tend to, the attendance suffers. You don't attend classes as you should, because now your focus is shifting from what brought you to the UK in the first place. You are in the UK on a student visa, not a work visa. But when you now begin to work longer than allowed, it becomes a problem. I'm sure we followed the news recently where a Nigerian student was, had some issues with her visa because she was working much more than she should, you know. So what I always say is, yes, your visa comes with 20 hours per week that allows you to work part time as a student,
What's
but
this?
remember that you're there on a
Oh,
student visa, and the primary thing is to ensure that your academics do not suffer because you're trying to work to pay fees or trying to work to pay for your accommodation. It's a trap when anybody advises you to say, oh, just pay half of your fees when you go to the UK. When you get to the UK, you can work to pay fees. It's a trap. If anyone says that to you, I'm very prospective students, please make sure that you sort. I mean, why do you say in the first place? Because when you say you're working to pay fees, that means you have lied to the Home Office and lied to the investor in the first place. Because before we issued your cars, you showed the bank statement to say you have the balance of your fees and your living expenses. Why do you now need to work to do that? At best, if you must take up part-time jobs, take it to just make, to just get the UK experience, get some of the money that you can get, just, get by. Not because you need to pay fees or maybe you need to pay accommodation and all of that. Because when you do that, you're setting yourself. I can tell you for free that it is a setup. It is a mess that you're creating and it's difficult to handle. Because you find out that UK education is quite intense. You need to be in class, have assignments, you have, group assignments, because all of these things need time. And the moment you're not clocking in, you're not doing these things, your academics begin to suffer. And in no time, the UKVI will notice that. The university will be the first to notice, and probably flag it to the UKVI. And that's it. That's how, the cookie crumbles. So please, let's always have that at the back of our minds, prospective students. Yeah. Thank you, Micheline, and it's back to you.
thank you so much, Izzy. So yes, these are your quick checklists as a student who is looking to study abroad in 2026. Okay, these are your quick checklists. You don't want to find yourself at the other side. You don't want to go through the hassle. Student Connect is here for you. And the university that you can quickly look at is LSBU. Okay, one of the universities you can quickly look at is LSBU. And we've covered the key areas from application and admission to visa and documentation to financial planning through arriving and accommodation. And then last but not the least, cultural and academic adaptation. Now, this is Student Connect Ghana and LSBU. Now we're going to open up for questions and answers. If you have any questions aside all that Cheesy has gone through, taking the time to go through, and you feel you were not satisfied at a point, you can quickly drop your question in the chat space. We welcome all questions. Feel free to quickly share whatever questions or whatever clarity you need concerning a particular topic so we can quickly digest it with you. Are there any questions? I mean, if you have a question aside all the questions I have shaken from Cheesy, I'll be surprised. Cheesy, I don't think you're audible.
Sorry, I think
Okay, I can hear you now.
the time I was talking. So I say if there are no questions, it means that we probably did justice to most of the questions. I mean, we've obviously touched around most of the questions that prospective students will normally ask. So yeah, that's good to see. Right? Did you get me, Micheline?
Yes, yes, I got you. Thank
All right,
you.
that's fine.
So maybe one more minute just in case somebody's
Okay,
not satisfied with some 30 seconds, probably 30 seconds. Okay,
that's fine.
probably 30 seconds. Any questions?
I hope your
Okay,
contacts
so
okay. Yeah,
while
I can see
we,
that your contacts are scrolling. So if they can always reach you
yes,
if they
while
have
we
any question after this session.
So while we wait for your question, I'm going to display our contacts. Feel free to quickly reach out so you can begin your application process. Okay, now you can't wait at all. You can't wait at all. Right now, you should have already gathered all your documents. If you have not gathered it, your counselor your counselor can help you with what you need. Okay. Um, Whatever you need, you would get from your counselor. So quickly reach out to the state contact, okay? So that you have all the guidance and counseling you would require. Remember, it's free from getting admission at LSBU through to what you do next after you have your offer. Visa application is all free. Is all free. The goal is to have a student enroll successfully at a university like LSBU. Okay, the goal is to have all our students enroll successfully at a university like LSB. So quickly reach out using the displayed contacts. You can take a screenshot. Okay, so we have one question asking for our location. So we are in Accra, East Legon to be precise, at the ARS roundabout. At the ARS roundabout. And you can quickly Google search Student Connect Ghana and it would bring you right to our doorstep. We are always available Monday to Friday from 9 to 5:30. And you can call any of the numbers any time. Okay, you'll be attended to. We are trying to display the contact details, so you can probably take a screenshot.
Hi, Michelin.
Please let us know if
Can
you
you
can
still
see
hear me?
the
Oh,
contacts. Yes, I can hear you. Please let us know if you can see the contacts. So
all
can we
right.
have this in the chat space? Okay, so you can now have access to our contact details. Our location is also there. You can quickly screenshot it. If you screenshot it, and feel free to reach out. Feel free to visit the office. We are located in East Lake One, ARS roundabout. Feel free to visit at any time. Feel free to contact any of the numbers displayed as well. Okay, take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Make sure you have it taken quickly. Right after the session, you can even have your application started right now. Application started right away. Reach out in your 2026 study abroad journey. Thank you once again, Chief. Thank you so much for agreeing to this beautiful session, this beautiful live session, sharing with us all the goodies that LSBU has, and of course, this is Student Connect Ghana as well. Thank you all so much. Cheesy, do you have anything to?
Thank you. Thanks, Michelin. Thank you to everyone who joined in today. And yeah, keep forward to welcoming you all at London South Bank University come September 2026. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.